Hi everyone, this video today shows how I put together this scrapbook page. It's for a scrapbooking challenge Facebook group that I belong to called Stampin Up Scrapbooking Global, or Global Scrapbooking. I can't remember at this moment, but I talk about it on my blog if you want to find out more about that page. What we had there are challenges, and this challenge was put together by another demonstrator, and it was to use a monochromatic color scheme. And you don't have to do black and white, you can do all blues or yellows or whatever. And the color that I'm going with for this page is Sahara Sand. So I've got a lot of things on this video. It's kind of long because scrapbooking is a long process, and I have to I have kids to pick up from school, so I start and stop. I think I changed outfits at one point because I started this in the evening one night, and then I had to finish it the next afternoon. So I've got some good little pointers on adding some stitching, which was part of the challenge. We had to use stitching, embossing, and I used dry embossing with an embossing folder, and also heat embossing with Versamark and clear embossing powder. And we were supposed to use distressing, and I did some distressing of the paper, and also with ink I distressed the background. So I show how to distress the background, how I distressed the edge, some tips about embossing, and how I did this little stitching here. So it's a really fun little page, and I hope that you'll check out the video despite its length. And there are some little tips and tricks in here, and you can see all of that as I go. I also want to talk about the stamp set that I used, because I don't know if I talked about it in the video length, but it's called Touches of Texture, and it's a really nice stamp set for adding different backgrounds and texture to your page. I bought it in wood mount, so it's got two cases because it's quite a large set, and I actually meant to buy it in the clear mount, but I accidentally brought it in the wood mount, but I actually like it. Wood mount is really nice and easy to hang on to, but it's got lots of background things. You can see some paint splashes and some splatter, and this little bit of lace and these flowers. So this is a really great stamp set for scrapbooking and for card making, and I really like it, so I'm going to use it here on this page. So I'm using Sahara Sand primarily. I will show you some other little things, and embossing folders and things like that. And you can also see all of these pieces and elements on my blog, bethspapercuts.com, and I'll have close-up photos, and you can see what little elements I used where. So let me get started on the video. I started out by using a sponge and adding some sponging all around the edges and center even of the page. Next, I wanted to add some different types of texture, and I went direct to paper, just wiping the stamp pad across the sheet. This adds like these little streaks, but I do it really fast and random because I don't want to overthink it. I wanted to add some strips of paper down the left side to anchor my photo, so I looked through my designer series paper and found a collection called Falling in Love from the Occasions 2017 catalog, and it has Sahara Sand as its primary neutral tone. So I cut some strips of that, and I embossed a regular strip of Sahara Sand cardstock with the Elegant Dots embossing folder. I knew it wouldn't fit in the entire embossing folder because the strip is 7 inches long, but you're only going to see the top and bottom, so I went ahead and put it in the folder, just the top and then the bottom to finish it off. Next, I distressed the mat for my photo by running some scissors along the end. You can also use a bone folder for this. And I also sponged and used the direct-to-paper with the ink pad on the mat as well. The photo is matted on a piece of early espresso. Now I'm just sort of going through my stash and seeing if it needs a little more, and I'm looking for things to add. Like, I love this linen thread. I also have some lace trim. I might do that one, not sure on that. And I went through my stamps to see what stamps I thought would work nicely with my page. I just wanted some subtle florals, and I love dragonflies, so I grabbed this set because it has a dragonfly. And anyway, so I went through and grabbed a bunch of stamps from it and placed them all in my workspace just so I can see what I might want to use. And if I just have a collection on my desk, I start playing around with them. I want to see if these will work and what types of shapes I might need. I like a variety. I also wanted to test it on a scratch paper to see how bold it looks. Does the tone on tone work? Do I need to use Versamark? That kind of thing. So that's just straight Sahara Sand ink. And then I'm going to try it again with Versamark. Sometimes you can use Versamark just for a watermark. It just gives a faint impression of the stamp on the paper, and it's very faint, so maybe that'll work. I think it's a little too faint, so I'm going to go ahead and emboss it, and that'll give it some shine too, which is a nice thing to add to the page. And I'm using clear embossing powder, and I'm going to heat it up and see if I like that. Okay, I totally like the way the embossed image looks, so I'm going to clear my space here a little bit and start to figure out where I want to place these stamps. I want the dragonfly to be kind of where it would catch your eye, so I'm going to put one right there next to the photo, and then I might add another one at the top and see what I think about that. Okay, it's a new day. I'm going to finish my scrapbook page after putting the kids to bed and finishing out my night last night. I decided to come back to this page this afternoon, and I'm going to add the flowers. I'm going to add some going off the page. I always think it's nice when they go slightly off the page and not 100%. Oops, I forgot that I didn't glue those down. I don't like to adhere anything until I'm close to the end because I always want to have the option to change my mind. This little jar of embossing powder has lasted me years. I bought another jar thinking that sure enough I'm going to finish this jar and I'm going to need another bottle of the clear embossing powder, but that new bottle has been sitting in the cabinet for a couple years now too. Almost done with it. I'm going to add some more flowers, just kind of all over the place I think with this one. Just little accents. Tuck that one behind the photo. Just going to put it kind of scattered all around a little bit. Alright, I should have put these the powder on individually on this one. They're kind of far apart, so they're going all over my paper. I'm being a little sloppy today, I have to say. I wasn't sure, but I think I'm going to add just a few more. I like to work in stages because you just kind of have to every once in a while check it out, add the photos back in, see if you need more.
sure if I was going to add this small one, but I think I will. I think I'll add a little tiny flower, just a little bit around the page. I might just finish this clear embossing powder today. Okay, I think that's it for embossing. I did not finish off my clear embossing powder. One of these days I'll use it up. It lasts forever, I'm not kidding, it's crazy. Alright, so I'm going to add everything back to the page and kind of see where I'm at. I cut out some little pieces with that. Remember that scrap I used to decide if I wanted to use straight ink or embossing? So I used that little scrap to cut out these little dragonflies. The dragonflies are from the Detailed Dragonflies Thinlit dies from the Occasion 2017 catalog. And then this little word sweet is from the, what is it? Cupcake Cutouts Thinlit dies. The Cupcake Thinlit dies are in the annual catalog. Both the annual catalog and the Occasions catalog are ending on May 31st. I'm not sure what will carry over into the new annual catalog. Hopefully some of these products will, but if not, you can grab them still right now for a few more weeks. I just want to make sure my word sweet doesn't get lost on the page too much, so I'm going to sponge it just to add a little more depth of color so that I can layer it onto my page. Let's see if that works. A little more. Okay. I also don't want to use all the dragonflies from this die cut, so I'm going to go ahead and remove a couple of the dragonflies. I'm not sure how many I'm going to use, so I'll cut a few out and decide as I lay things all out onto the page. Because I used that scrap that I embossed earlier with my test, the dragonfly has some really cute detail to them. I'm not sure if they'll show up on the video, but in person it does. Okay, so I may use the dragonfly up there, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna set it aside for now and decide if I want to use it later. So now I need to think of how I'm going to do that stitching part of the challenge, and I have an idea to stitch together these strips at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. First I want to see how I want them to be layered, and I think I like that. And this is a piercing mat which is sold in the catalog, but what I'm putting on top of it is not. Stampin' Up! Used to sell this little paper piercing template, and they no longer do, which is a bummer, but you can use a ruler to line up the little holes that you're going to use for your stitching. Or if you have a sewing machine, you can use that. I do have a sewing machine, and I am just not good at sewing on paper. It's something I need to practice, and I really wanted to get this page done, so I'm not going to practice today. But this little template will make little holes in a nice straight line, so I'm going to go ahead and use it to line things up. I just want to know how far down on the strips of paper am I going to put my stitching. I think I'll go a little bit further down than that. I should just glue this down because it's making me crazy that it's not glued down. So let's go ahead and attach that. Okay. Alright, the template has little tiny holes that are close together. I think I'm going to do the holes that are farther apart. I'm just going to do a simple cross stitch on here. The little piercing tool is kind of hard to find in the catalog. It's on page 185. It's in with the tools. And that little mat that I was using underneath it is with the stamping supplies, and it's on 183 of the annual catalog. I couldn't find the needle that I usually have on my desk, a little thick needle to go through paper, and so I'm using this dental flosser. It's for kids with braces so they can get floss in between their braces, and it's really handy for putting on buttons and also for adding a few stitches. So I usually keep some of those little flossers on my desk. So now I just need to put everything back down and make some final decisions here. I kind of like that. And then my title, the little suite that I cut out earlier, find it, there it is. And then I wanted to add a stamp, and I wanted to add something like so sweet or always sweet, and I found this cute little stamp that says always, and I'm testing it here just to see how big it is. It's kind of small, actually. It's smaller than I wanted it to be, so let me see. And it's pretty small. Maybe if I'm gonna do some more, a random kind of adding some stamped images in a row. Okay, is that enough? Yeah, maybe a couple more. I might be doing too many more. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. A lot of it will get covered by that paper banner. The little strips on the side. Alright, I'm done. I'm going to start attaching things to the paper. I have some tear tape on my desk. I am going to use that. It's a really strong adhesive and it's really easy to use. Title there. Now there's different ways that you can attach adhesive to such a skinny little piece, and recently I saw someone do this. She put the piece onto a silicone mat and used just good old snail, which is the easiest thing to apply, and went over like this. Ah, see, it's so skinny. It's crazy. There we go. There, now you see, if you can, I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, but that snail, when you put it on, sometimes leaves a little bit in between, but that's really easy to get out with one of these adhesive remover squares, a little piece of rubber, and you just go like this and it takes it out.
I think this is all I want on here, except for her name, maybe a date. Definitely a name and a date. You gotta put that on there. So I'm just gonna put it at the bottom. Test my marker before I start. Okay. Maybe I should use a darker. So I've got Early Espresso, which I did use on the mat. I was trying to stick with one color, but I did use it on the mat, so yep, I'm going to use that. It's a little bit darker. You'll be able to see it. And you know, I used to have such a hard time with handwriting on my pages. I really did, but then I just decided that this is my scrapbook page. My handwriting is my handwriting, and the kids will remember my handwriting. They'll know Mom wrote that. So I'm just going to write her name. And the year. Let's see. There we go. I'm done. So I hope that you like these little tips and tricks. I hope that you'll give the monochromatic scheme a try and maybe find ways to make it monochromatic but add depth by doing some embossing and stamping, some distressing, and finding some papers in similar hues, and then add a little bit of stitching. I might maybe add some stitching down here somehow. Nope, I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, that's it. That's my page. I hope that you like it. I'm going to take the camera off the mount so that I can do a better shot of the whole thing. It's just too far away, or too close. There we go. There's the whole thing. Some detail. It has been raining like crazy, and again it's raining. So I can't catch a break with the sunlight in my room today. There you go. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.